Lecture Reason and Religion, Part 2. We are all human beings, that is to say, each one of us, as it were, a particular part of the general concept humanity. A man and a cat and a dog are all animals. These particular examples, as man or dog or cat, are parts of a bigger and more general concept animal. The man and the cat and the dog and the plant and the tree all come under the still more general concept life. Again, all these being material and all beings come under one concept of existence, for we all are in it. This explanation merely means referring the particular to a higher concept, finding more of its kind. The mind, as it were, has stored up numerous classes of such generalizations. It is, as it were, full of pigeonholes where all these ideas are grouped together. And whenever we find a new thing, the mind immediately tries to find out its type in one of these pigeonholes. If we find it, we put the new thing in there and are satisfied, and we are said to have known the thing. It is what is meant by knowledge and no more. And if we do not find that there is something like it, we are dissatisfied and have to wait until we find a further classification for it already existing in the mind. Therefore, as I have already pointed out, knowledge is more or less classification. There is something more. A second explanation of knowledge is that the explanation of a thing must come from inside and not from outside. There had been the belief that when a man threw up a stone and it fell, some demon dragged it down. Many occurrences which are really natural phenomena are attributed by people to unnatural beings. That a ghost dragged down the stone was an explanation that was not in the thing itself. It was an explanation from outside, but the second explanation of gravitation is something in the nature of the stone. The explanation is coming from inside. This tendency you will find throughout modern thought. In one word, what is meant by science is that the explanation of things are in their own nature, and that no external beings or existences are required to explain what is going on in the universe. The chemist never requires demons or ghosts or anything of that sort to explain his phenomena. The physicist never requires any one of these to explain the things he knows, nor does any other scientist. And this is one of the features of science which I mean to apply to religion. In this, religions are found wanting, and that is why they are crumbling into pieces. Every science wants its explanations from inside, from the very nature of things, and the religions are not able to supply this. There is an ancient theory of a personal deity entirely separate from the universe, which has been held from the very earliest time. The arguments in favor of this have been repeated again and again. How it is necessary to have a God entirely separate from the universe, an extra cosmic deity who has created the universe out of his will and is conceived by religion to be its ruler. We find, apart from all these arguments, the Almighty God painted as the all merciful, and at the same time, inequalities remain in the world. These things do not concern the philosopher at all, but he says the heart of the thing was wrong. It was an explanation from outside and not inside. What is the cause of the universe? Something outside of it, some beings who is moving this universe. And just as it was found insufficient to explain the phenomena of the falling stone, so this was found insufficient to explain religion. And religions are falling into pieces because they cannot give a better explanation than that. Another idea connected with this, the manifestation of the same principle, that the explanation of everything comes from inside it, is the modern law of evolution. The whole meaning of evolution is is simply that the nature of a thing is reproduced, and the effect is nothing but the cause in another form, that all the potentialities of the effect were present in the cause, that the whole of creation is but an evolution and not a creation. That is to say, every effect is a reproduction of a preceding cause, changed only by the circumstances, and thus it is going on throughout the universe, and we need not go outside the universe to seek the causes of these changes, they are within. It is unnecessary to seek for any cause outside. This also is breaking down religion. What I mean by breaking down religion is that religions that have held on to the idea of an extra cosmic deity, that he is a very big man and nothing else, can no more stand on their feet. They have pulled down, as it were. Can there be a religion satisfying these two principles? I think there can be. In the first place, we have seen that we have to satisfy the principle of generalization. The generalization principle ought to be satisfied along with the principle of evolution. We have to come to an ultimate generalization which not only will be of the most universal of all generalizations, but out of which everything else must come. It will be of the same nature as the lowest effect, the cause, the highest, the ultimate, the primal cause must be the same as the lowest and most distant of its effect, a series of evolutions. The Brahman of the Vedanta fulfills that condition because Brahma is the last generalization to which we have come. It has no attributes but its existence. Knowledge and bliss. Absolute existence, we have seen, is the ultimate generalization which the human mind can come to. Knowledge does not mean the knowledge we have, but the essence of that which is expressing itself in the course of evolution in human beings or in other animals as knowledge. The essence of that knowledge is meant, the ultimate fact beyond, and I may be allowed to say so, even consciousness. That is what I meant by knowledge, and what we see is in the universe as the essential unity of things. To my mind, if modern science is proving anything again and again, it is this, that we are one mentally, spiritually, and physically. It is wrong to say that we are even physically different. Supposing we are materialists for argument's sake, we shall have to come to this, that the whole universe is simply an ocean of matter, of which you and I are like little whirlpools. Masses of matter are coming into each whirlpool, taking the whirlpool form, and coming out as matter again. The matter that is in my body may have been in yours a few years ago, or in the sun, or may have been the matter in a plant, and so on, in a continuous state of flux. What is meant by your body and my body? It is the oneness of the body. So with thought, it is an ocean of thought, one infinite mass in which your mind and my mind are like whirlpools. Are you not seeing the effect now? How my thoughts are entering into yours and yours into mine? The whole of our lives is one. We are one, even in thought. Coming to a still further generalization, the essence of matter and thought is their potentiality of spirit. This is the unity from which all have come, and that must essentially be one. We are absolute one, we are physically one, we are mentally one. And as spirit, it goes without saying that we are one if we believe in spirit at all. This oneness is the one fact that is being proved every day by modern science. To proud man it is told, you are the same as that little worm there. Think not that you are something enormously different from it, you are the same. You have been that in a previous incarnation, and the worm has crawled up to this man state of which you are so proud. This grand preaching, the oneness of things, making us one with everything that exists, is the great lesson to learn, for most of us are very glad to be made one with higher beings, but nobody wants to be made one with lower beings. Such is human ignorance, that if anyone's ancestors were men whom society honored, even if they were brutish, if they were robbers, even robber barons, Every one of us would try to trace our ancestry to them, but if among our ancestors we had poor, honest gentlemen, none of us want to trace our ancestry to them. But the scales are falling from our eyes. Truth is beginning to manifest itself more and more, and that is great gain to religion. That is exactly the teaching of the Advaita about which I am lecturing to you. The Self is the essence of this universe, the essence of all souls. He is the essence of your own life. Nay, thou art that. You are one with this universe. He who says he is different from others, even by a hair's breadth, immediately becomes miserable. Happiness belongs to him who knows this oneness, who knows he is one with this universe.